Hi, it's Brooke again, and I want to say hello to old friends. Hopefully, a lot of you have been joining me that I've known for a long time. And as well, I'm hoping that there are lots of new friends joining in because I think this is the kind of information that can be helpful to everyone, whether you're interested in Native Indigenous kind of work or not. Um, what I'm really about is about taking care of the earth. And I come to it from a Native perspective, from an Indigenous perspective, because it's so powerful, so beautiful, it's so amazing. There's so much there that's rich. And the truth of it connects to the truth of everything else. So I really feel like the kind of things that I can share with you can help you right now to live a better life and to help us keep this beautiful planet available for us as a human family. We've been naughty kids. We have killed 50% of the life on Earth. And what would you do if one of your children was doing that to everybody else? You'd have to remove them from the space. Well, I'm surprised Mother Earth has waited this long, but she, I believe, will be willing to remove us human family from the space, this beautiful, magical paradise of a planet that we were given, if we're not willing to take care of it. And if we're not willing to take care of it, we don't deserve to be here. I'm human. I love the human family, but no more than I love the rest of this exquisite earth and all the beautiful little insects and butterflies that we're killing and all of the life that we're destroying. It tears my heart up to see us doing that. So anyway, I need to get on with the good and positive things I want to share with you. And this time, what I'm talking about is good vibrations. So actually, let's make use of some of those as we begin here. I'll just do a little drumming and let's settle in. Let ourselves take a nice breath. I'm going to shift this sound a little bit. Sometimes it works a little better if I do it this way. Maybe you can hear that a little better. One of the things that happens as I drum is that vibration goes out to you. This heartbeat drumming is calming, strengthening of your heart, helps bring you present in the moment. And so, Creator, we're thanks for this wonderful heartbeat of life that we can follow in health and beauty. May we bring forward today what is good and useful and beneficial and serves all our relations. Ho, Mitakuyasu. So drums, people have been using them down through time. I want to talk about sound and people and, there are a lot of things that use birds, drum on things. Certainly the primates communicate with each other, drumming on logs and other things. And primary peoples have known to use that down through time and also understood. I spoke to you earlier, I think, in one of the sessions about how when we dance on the earth and when we vibrate the earth, we are vibrating the mycelium, the fungal roots that are underneath the ground, and all the roots and all the baseline of things, the crystals and all of that, everything that's down there, we're vibrating that with a healing vibration. Our song, our dance, our healing, and it's the vibration of them. And very likely you understand and know that being on earth means we're in duality. It's like up, down, in, out, black, white, man and woman, on and on. And there's those wonderful continuums. They're not so much about the difference, but about the continuum from one to the other that is going on, and that there's a vibration. There's vibration happening. There's vibration in every single thing on earth. That's what we're made of, is vibration in a sense. And each of us have a unique signature vibration. And remember when I was talking about radionics, I said that, a picture of you, you yourself, a picture of you, even sometimes just your name. Isn't it amazing that that carries your signature vibration? And that signature vibration is what, in the old magical terms, the mages, the magicians, talked about your true name. Your true name. And your true name is your true vibration. And interestingly enough, in, I believe, East Indian language, one of the languages anyway, is a language where the vibration you say is the vibration of the thing itself. So let's say I say rabbit, that's the vibration of rabbit. And it gives you, in a sense, power. It gives you power to call them and manipulate them, in a sense. So you don't, the old mages said you don't want anyone to know your true name because they can use that. And of course, I think what's true is that in the deepest way, we all can feel that signature. We can all feel that energy, and hopefully we use it for good. So sound and vibration are basic to us as a human family. And as I said, the drumming that heartbeat. Indian people, native people, I've used that drum to talk and share and dance and heal for so very long. And one of the fun things I like to share with people is like working with your little kids. Sometimes at night, kids are like wild. It's like, I don't want to go to bed. And they're just wild and crazy. And so if you pick up your drum and just beat it, kind of match their energy. Beat it with them, and beat it with them. And then just kind of, take more time than I'm taking. But slow it down and slow it down and slow it down. Get down to that nice heartbeat. That beautiful heartbeat, and the kids will calm down. And that's just a simple kind of thing with sound, because we know that there's a lot of work with sound that makes such a difference. And I mean, just for example, shamans and other people have always used rattles. And rattles, what does that do? It breaks up energy. It changes, it opens things. Always the teaching is that we can't do something new until we open the past, until we stop hanging on to this. We're not going to get this wonderful combination. So we need to clear. So it's about clearing and letting go of things. Another one that's fun is using sound to clear and cleanse in another way, and I'll show you that. Just close your eyes and listen for a minute to this, my shamanic flute. And some of those dissonant tones, the ones that kind of grate against each other, those are remarkably clearing. I had an experience one time with Peruvian singing vessels, their whistles, and so we all got together. They were like, I think they had nine whistles, and we all got together. They were like little pots almost with you could blow in them, and we put them in a circle, and we all laid down so we could blow them. And I expected to hear this like harmonious, wonderful energy, which has its own goodness. But this was like, in a way, it's like a lot of Tibetan music. You know how kind of harsh and grating that is? Well, what that does is break things up. So if you're wanting to break up something, change a pattern, move something, shift something, clear something, make the way for something new, that vibration will do that. And of course, we know that harmony, there's so many studies now of certain kinds of classical music, that you play that classical music and you think better, you're calmer, you're healthier, and other kinds of music that are more dissonant are over time not that healing and healthy for you. There's a wonderful thing about sound that I love, because we've been talking about natural things. Well, it turns out that when the songbirds wake in the morning around 4 o'clock and sing, their vibration opens the stomata on the underside of leaves and opens the plants energetically, so they begin to open to the sun and the life and the air and the moisture that's there, becoming remarkably healthy. And now, absolutely heartbreaking to me, we have killed so many of the insects that the little songbirds live on, that I can just bet you that you don't hear as many songbirds and you don't see as many. You know, when you used to wake up in the morning and it was all this beautiful little song, many of us don't hear that anymore. And it's a terrible sadness. And not only is it sad that they're gone, what's sad is we're missing their beautiful song, a song that awakened life and that nurtured life. And now there's some people doing, I think, what they call sonic bloom, which is an artificial way, by playing the sounds of birds and playing music to the plants, they can nourish and awaken the plants. And another thing I like to mention about sound is that the old Hopi people in the ancient days, and I'm sure those who are working in the traditional way to this day, use sound. And one of the ways they use it is there are droughts there. You know, it's the dry Southwest where they live. And when there was no rain and it started to be a drought, those wonderful men went into their fields every day and sang rain to their crops. They sang water, their vibration. I'm sure they stood there and remembered the smell of rain as it came down and the sound of it. And they had songs that they developed with that kind of energy, and they sang to their plants, and their plants lived through the drought. So there's big magic. There's big magic in sound. And I know that many cultures in the past have used sound. As a matter of fact, I read something one time, and still have in my files stored away, this image of how I believe that sound was used to cut, to heal, to lift, to do many things. You know, the big buildings, the pre-Diluvian buildings that we see that have these, you know, room-sized stones that all fit together so tight that you couldn't stick a piece of paper between them. And they're all these odd shapes and all of this. Those were done, I'm sure, by sound. Because, excuse me, many of them, they couldn't even lift and place like that now. They couldn't cut, lift, and place those with the modern groovy technology we have now. So I believe they were using sound. And I saw one time this image of how the Tibetans would do this. They would have a group of their people with those wild and crazy instruments in a circle, kind of a moon circle. They'd have one sort of conductor out front, and let's say out a ways there would be an enormous stone that they needed to lift. And what they would do is they would start making specific sounds, whatever they were. They would make sounds with their instruments, and gathering that sound together, the conductor would use that to lift and place that stone. And just think what we could have done if, instead of deciding that polluting gasoline that makes the petroleum boys rich, all of that kind of thing, you know, the kind of engines we have, the bang, 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 wham, bang engines we have that cause a lot of noise and pollution. If we had decided on something different than that, I believe that we could have developed an amazing technology of sound. Just think of working with our human genius for 50, 100, 150 years, on sound and what sound could do, what we could have developed. So as always, excuse me, you can hear my sound is not so great right now. So as always, what I'm talking about with you is I'm talking about let's think differently. Let's open our minds, let's open our hearts, let's open our creativity to different ways of doing things. Like with biomimicry, let's think, how can we do it so it doesn't pollute? You know, they've done a lot of work with hydrogen engines, and when they're using hydrogen as a gas, or, you know, as a powering rather than gasoline, there's the only thing that ever happens is a little bit of water drips out of the tailpipe. No pollutants, no nothing. So there's so many possibilities. And for one thing I need to say here is that many of these beautiful inventions that have come out have been suppressed by the kind of society we have that says, you know, we need to make money. We who own the electricity, we who own the petroleum, we who own a lot of these things, we can't have you stopping doing that, for heaven's sakes. So let's just suppress all of these things that are different than that. There have been inventions that use the magnetism and energy of Earth to provide, it would literally provide all the energy we need on Earth. And they have been squashed and suppressed because it would ruin the economy, the people who are making the money now. So I want you to wake up and think about these things and find ways to support them. We supporting things, if we take energy away from that which is not working and find other ways of doing things, gentle, peaceable, no fighting, no warring, no nothing, just take our energy away from the things that are not working and support those that do work. The magic, there's so much magic, people. There's so much more magic than bang, 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 bang. Use a gasoline engine to go down the road. So the more we can pay attention to these things and learn from them and move forward with them, other things will just collapse and move out of the way. They can't sustain themselves unless we support them. So anyway, that's some about sound. And let's talk a little bit about light. And the thing is, it's all vibrations, isn't it? It's sound and light and all of these things. Oh, by the way, speaking of sound, there was a fellow in one of the universities recently who found out that high vibration, like, 8 hertz is the vibration of the earth. So it's the one I'm talking, 20,000 hertz. It's enormously high, of course, way beyond what we could hear. But he found out that 20 and 30,000 hertz will blow cancer cells apart. And you'd think that our human family would go, yes, all right, let's develop that. But somehow pharmaceuticals and, Pfizer owns all the patents on all the cancer drugs. They made 18 millionaires with all the COVID vaccines. So they don't want anything to change. They want it to stay like it is. And so things are suppressed that could absolutely make a difference in our lives and what we can do with the resources we have. So anyway, that's an interesting one. And it's sound. Simple, natural sound. And then let's talk about light. I don't know all of the things about lasers, but they're doing laser. I was talking to a dear friend of mine here, a wonderful, wonderful woman in Paris, a doctor who's done a lot of, she's a magical person in that she's found out a lot about human sexuality and about women and about the power of using that, just letting that flow of energy in a wonderful way move through and energize ourselves. She's just a fabulous person, but she had an operation and she said, you know what? I benefited from the modern technologies. They didn't even have to open my body up. They went in somehow through laser work and other kinds of things and removed what they needed to remove without opening her body. So anyway, what a wonderful thing. So much less recovery time and all of that. So that kind of thing has been happening. I know when I was in South Carolina with my wonderful daughter Allison and Johnny Peters at their center, they used a lot of light with me. I was able to use the technologies that they were working with, and they were using blue and red light. And I know that some of the challenges that I had with my skin totally changed with just the use of that incredible light. And there are some things as well. Some of you have heard of Rife, and Rife used a certain kind of energy. He realized that there were signature vibrations of everything, and let's say there's a signature vibration of cancer, and he would find the vibration that broke that up. So the Rife machine would tune to the vibration that would clear something out of your body that needed clearing. And they got rid of him, I think. So that kind of thing hasn't come forward so much. But anyway, there's enormous healing that we can do with sound and with light. And I mix them up because in a way it's all that good vibration. You know, it's the same kind of thing. And I've recently come into contact with something that I'm very excited about, and you'll be hearing more from me about. And it's a new way of healing and anti-aging. And that means keeping the body itself youthful. Not in cute and pretty and all that, although one certainly I think looks better as they stay youthful. But it's really about supporting and awakening the stem cells. And I've been working with this kind of technology for several years with the understanding that when the stem cells, which are the cells that will form anything, so if you, break a bone, boom, they go and form bone cells. If you cut yourself, they come and form flesh cells. If your heart's in trouble, they'll make heart cells. If your brain's in trouble, it's like they are ubiquitous. They will do whatever is needed. And so the idea with stem cell therapy is that we want to have available, especially as we age, because it slows down as we age. We want to have available, if we're going to stay youthful, we want to have available the number and amount and activity of stem cells that will literally rebuild anything that is broken. So it's a repair setup. It's not about curing anything so much, although certainly if you repair a heart that's not working, it's going to cure heart disease, I guess. But it's about repairing the baseline of the human body. And so I said I've been working with that for a long time. And recently there's a fellow named Dave Schmidt who has come up with these little sticky patch kind of things that you can put on yourself. And they have a kind of crystalline structure that captures, and once again, here's this thing about natural. They capture our natural energies. There's a natural light and energy coming off of the body, and these little patches capture that and throw it back into the body in certain kind of frequencies. And what's fun is I was listening to Dave the other night talking about his childhood, and he said, I had allergies as a child, and they gave me drugs, and he said, I felt terrible, I was dull and listless, and maybe I didn't have my nose running, but nothing else was very exciting. And he said, I stopped it. And right at that time, at 11 years old, he said, I'd been listening to my mom talk about food be healing, about herbs and all of the things from her Italian background. And he said, I just knew that I could find something natural. He studied and did cure his allergies. He hasn't had any trouble since then. And that got him on the track of doing natural things, not pharmaceutical, not things that suppress symptoms, but things that really go to the baseline of things. So he's a research genius and has brought forth a lot of amazing things. These patches, one of the things they do is stimulate the peptides in the body to give you a baseline of health. Those things support a lot of the healing possibility, the health possibilities in your body, just the natural functioning of your body. They also increase energy, because he found this technology by wanting to create more energy for Navy SEALs, the high level, warrior Navy SEALs who are in these small submarines, not breathing very good air, needing to stay awake 20, 30, 40, 60 hours sometimes, and then go on some kind of a mission where they swim and do whatever they do. And they were, getting hooked on, caffeine and amphetamines and stuff because they needed to stay awake. So he invented these energy patches to give them more energy so that they could get off of those things. So, and he's gone on from there. So it's about light and about certain structure of light. And if a certain structure of light hits the body and goes through the body, it can stimulate things like glutathione. And some of you who have paid attention to health, like I have, know that glutathione is a really important antioxidant and does many helpful things in the body. There's also some of the work that shows that when things get moving, in a sense like the acupuncture, the meridian system, the understanding that, there needs to be movement. When things get blocked and stuck, often there's pain. And pain, our modern drug world gives you painkillers to stop the pain signals. What we really need to do in a natural way is say, what's blocking things? What's wrong? Let's look at what's wrong, change that, move that energy, shift that, allow things to naturally flow, and the pain stops in a natural way. So anyway, there are these technologies going on, and this is light technology. It's so exciting. I'm really cranked up about all of these things I'm talking to you about because of their natural nature, that they are about the way we function and supporting that function. So you're going to hear a lot from me about these things, because one of the things I said in the early part of things is that I'm old enough that I'd love to be able to do things and share things with you, across the waves like this, and radionically and in other ways that, with products and other things that will help you. And I don't need to be dragging those heavy suitcases around so much. So anyway, again, this is about good vibrations. These vibrations that we can pay much more attention to, do much more with, to heal ourselves, to heal the world, to make such an incredible difference in a good way, in the way that honors White Buffalo Woman's understanding that we are one being. We're not just one family on earth. We're one continuous being with all our little individual signatures making up this incredible, incredible being, this paradise that we have here on earth, and that extends out into the whole of the Great Mother's womb, holding all of life and all of what's good and beautiful. And so thanks for listening to this one. Thanks for thinking about good vibrations. And again, I hope that you open your mind and heart to realize that there's such incredible possibilities out there. You can bring them forth. I know you can. And one of the things each and every one of us can do is support this kind of, in a sense, new technology, new discoveries, new inventions, new ways of being and doing and designing that support life, that are non-polluting, and that literally support the beautiful life that we have around us. And a lot of it means taking our hands off of things, taking our little fingers off of things, and taking our energy and weight off of things so that the natural world can rebuild itself, which it loves to do when it has a chance. So I'm wishing you very well. I will probably down the line add more to this, because right now this is what I'm paying attention to, is the radiant possibilities we have for creating a new earth. We can do it. Let's do it. Thank you so much.